So I've gone and done it again. I've gone and bought another cheap car blind from a salvage auction. This isn't recorded or anything, so this is a massive hit and hope. So please welcome to the channel my 2008 Seat Leon Cupra. First of all, let's get over the sunglasses. I'm pretty sure they're my wife's. I can't remember buying them, but they look all right and they help with the hay fever. And it's really bright. So moving on to the Seat Leon Cupra, this is a 2008 2-litre front-wheel drive turbo petrol. Essentially, it is a Golf R without the four-wheel drive, Audi S3 without the four-wheel drive, etc. So this is a front-wheel drive manual, 2.6, I think they are 265. I'm going to put it on the screen if it's slightly less, but I'm pretty sure it's a 265 PS, which is the same as the Mark 6R and the Audi S3 8P. And yeah, this is an unrecorded car. I have no idea what's wrong with it. There was nothing that said there was wrong with it. It's at Copart for a reason though, so we are going to find out in today's video. Now, in the auction, it said it ran and drove. We all know that means absolutely nothing. However, I was told it did start and reverse off the transporter, so we're off to a good start. Didn't say if there's any engine noises or anything like that though, so we will find out all that. But first of all, let's just go over the car and see if there's anything obvious damage-wise. Right, before we start with a completely blank canvas, anything could be wrong with this car. Let me know in the comments what you think is wrong. So yeah, I'll start with the obvious. Front wing bumper, you can see completely rusted through here, and we have started to get a bit of a rusty sill, so that could be the start of our issues if there's any rust underneath, etc. Bumper poking out here, don't think that's too much of an issue. Front of it, I don't know if it's the yellow looks a slightly different yellow to the wing, so I don't know if it's had it might just be, to be fair, it might just be the tint on my sunglasses, but front looks all right, to be fair. Going around to the other wing, same again, exactly the same deal, just rusted through, and not too bad actually on the bottom sill there. But looking around the car, it's got some Team Hecko wing deflectors. Looks all right. On the back, nothing major. Don't know what's going on with the exhaust. It's got, I don't know if it's an aftermarket exhaust and someone's robbed the tips. I mean, it has come from Copart, so it's highly plausible. We've got a missing boot badge. Don't know if we can still get in there or not. No, might be locked. Rear wiper I'm missing, and we have obviously a stone chip that's developed over many years. Other than that, it looks all right. We've got a rear aerial, which is, I don't know, is that just bent down? I'm not too sure. We'll look into that in a minute. I don't want to break it. Let's just look into the interior. So I have no service history with the car, but I do have the V5. As I said, it's HPI clear. We will do a CarVertical check on it in a moment though, just to make sure there's been no accidents, even though it's HPI clear. We do have 2 keys. The interior looks all right. Can't see any damage. I think I just said I don't have any service history. Right, how do we get in here? Oh, we got the chirp. Oh, rear door's quite stiff. Might need a little bit of lube. See if we can get in the boot. Yep, we can. How do we? There we go, it does work. Oh, there's my handle. Oh yeah, it's definitely broken. Spare wheel, beautiful. Lock and wheel key? No. Rear door. Yep, that one's all right. There's my rear wiper, probably broken as well. So don't have any locking wheel keys. No. Glove box. Aha! Locking wheel key. So on the outside, it looks all right. We've got a few minor things, which is what you'd expect for the age. Front wings rusted, dent on the boot, which needs a bit of paint. Just a few minor things, nothing major. But you, being Copart, let's be honest, the problems are probably going to be under the bonnet and under the car as well. So we're going to start it up now, see if it drives, and we're going to get it up on the ramp and see what we find. And someone might answer my doorbell as well. So let's jump in. How many miles has this thing done? I cannot remember. I think it's 130 something. 129, there we go, finally. 129,000 miles. Right, let's start her up. Pray for no knocking noises. Oh no, that sounds good. Sounds alright. A few little revs. Oh, what we got? Light on? No engine management, just a light. Just bulbs out somewhere. A few revs. I'll tell you what, that sounds good. I'll take that. Right, let's see if it drives. Goes into gear, driving well. Second. Brakes, oh god, brakes are awful and they don't work very well. And they're very rusty from surface rust. Reverse seems to work. Let's just see if we can get into third quickly. We can test 3 gears out at least. Aircon actually, it's bloody hot. Right. Right. I don't want econ, economy's bad. Let's see if aircon works. You know what? I think it does. How do you turn these on? No, how do I change it? I don't want out there. I'll tell you what, aircon works. I'll have that. Got stuff. We're off to a great start here, I'll tell you that. Right, let's go for third gear. Oh, felt a bit of a knock there. Oh yeah, bit of a knock. Brakes are awful. Dog bone mount, it sounds like there. But these are, again, minor things so far. M2's back from the body shop. Go click in the top right hand corner if you want to go watch the series for that up to date. There will be a video coming on that very soon. She looks absolutely sweet. Okay, aircon seems to have stopped working now. This is probably low on gas. Driving into the workshop, I wonder what we're going to find. What do you reckon? Loads of rust? Something's not adding up so far because on the surface it all seems okay. Now, before we get the Cupra onto the ramp and have a look at the underside, I just want to give a massive thanks to the long-term sponsor of the channel, CarVertical. Now, CarVertical is an all-in-one check that you need to do before you purchase your next car. As I did with this Seat Leon Cupra, before I bid on it, I actually did a full report just to make sure what I was buying was kosher and hadn't been involved in any accidents or anything like that, because that would devalue it. Now, I'll just pull up the report for the Seat Leon that I did before I built on the car, and as you can see here, look, it's got the chassis number, so that's the first thing you can check, make sure it matches the car, and then we've got 4 main icons, and that is theft, odometer, financial, and damage, and we can see all those 4 have got a nice green tick, which is good. And then if we scroll down, didn't find any information of it being stolen. The odometer was last checked at 122, and we know the mileage is, I think it's just over 122, just under 130, and we can see a nice steady increase on the graph there, so we know it hasn't been clocked, so that is good. And if we keep scrolling down, there is no damage records found as well. The car is HPI clear, and if we scroll in further down, we'll give you some specs about the car as well, just in case you didn't know, and also a timeline of when it was manufactured, all the MOTs it's had, whether it's passed, whether it's failed, and also any number plate changes that it's had throughout its life as well. And I'll give you an example of a bad report as well. We've got this Audi A3 here, and we can see straight away we have 3 nice green ticks, but 1 amber warning for damage. So just scroll down, and this is actually an Audi RS3, and we can see the pictures, look at that, of when it was actually damaged, and that is yeah, quite severe damage. If we come over, there's a few more pictures as well, and you can see that over 2 years later, the same car is now back up for sale, being repaired. So if you're interested in buying that car and you didn't know it had been written off, maybe the owner didn't disclose it, at least you now know, and if you're still interested, you can go and view the car and you know exactly where to look to find out if the repair has been done correctly. So when you're buying your next car, guys, please click the link in my description, use my discount code for a nice bit of discount, and just make sure the car that you're buying next, if it's crashed, that you know about it. So a massive thanks to CarVertical for sponsoring today's video. Yeah, so I think I found the problem. But first of all, let's have a look at the front, because the front actually looks pretty good. Apart from a few little issues, like the exhaust bracket here has come away from the subframe. There's a bit of an oil leak, but I don't believe it's coming from the engine. The engine, if you can have a look up there, look, all looks pretty dry. It looks like it's either coming from the gearbox, which is pretty common, possibly steering rack, but shouldn't be coming from there. I mean, it's given me vibes that it's sat for a while. I've just had a look. Its last MOT was February 2022. So it's not possibly sat for too long, but engine looks good. A little bit of oil leaking from the oil filter. Pretty much every car with the oil filter at the bottom, EA 113s do that. But yeah, it's not horrendous. So moving down the car is where the problems begin, and just take a look at this rear axle. Rust City. I mean, I don't know how bad it's coming across on camera, but yeah, it's pretty bad. Looking all around here, up in there, that. And yeah, up there as well on the main. That's not too bad, might be all right. That's what we need to really now look into. And obviously the end cap's missing from the exhaust, bit of a weird one. Don't know where it's really happened there. They've just welded on a couple of tips. So yeah, we can clearly see why it's been sent to Copart now. So we can replace the subframe, suspension components and stuff like that. The one thing we can't replace is the chassis itself. So I think the first thing I need to do is now check the chassis to see how badly rusted that is, because if that's rusted beyond ideally fixing, then the whole thing's a no-go. Whoops, banged a hole in the damper. It's now squirting fluid everywhere. Oh no, 2 holes now. Probably needed changing anyway though. So after spending 20 minutes, 30 minutes just tapping away on the chassis, trying to see if we can find any holes. There are no holes, it all looks pretty good to be fair. Once you get under the paint and all the rust paint falls to the floor, it seems decent. One thing that's not decent is the subframe, but that is something that we can replace. But like anything, I won't fully know the extent of the chassis until we remove the subframe, but once I start doing that, I'm then into the job, and ideally you'd want to finish it. So, after looking over the rest of the car, I can't find anything. Maybe we'll just drop it down on the ground, we'll have a look through the system, have a look in the engine bay, just to see if we can find anything else that's possibly at fault, and then we'll make a decision what we're going to do. So engine bay looks pretty good. We've actually got some forged bits here, and we have some upgraded coil packs as well, and we have a ram air intake. This being the KO4, so it's the same engine as I think I've already mentioned, the Golf R and the S3. Coolant looks nice and pink, so that's good. Yeah, it just needs a general clean in here really, nothing too major. Right, I have compiled a list of... Oh, got a bit on a car. Right, so I've compiled a list of all the faults I found and the prices to rectify them. But before we look at that list, I think we should go for a little road test. It's got no MOT, but I can go up and down the drive, give me a good indication whether I can get into all the gears, it boosts correctly, and the engine just basically runs okay. And once we've done that, we can look at our list and work out whether this car is worth repairing. Well, I was just trying to set the GoPro up so the sun didn't shine into the lens and it work. Right, first of all, let's check the windscreen washer's good, horn good, radio, I don't know if that works actually, FM, God this is old. no fuel, but give it a little check the gears. Woo. That was quite quick. Check all the gears, right? Oh my god, brakes do not work. All the gears work, managed to get into 6th then. Felt quick, as in stage 1 quick. But it's quite hard to really tell when I'm on a little single track road, because when you're on a little single track road, things always appear faster than they may be. Let's just give it a... Well, engine's strong. Brakes not strong. Nah, the engine feels great, to be fair. Gearbox good. So yeah, I think it's about time that we looked at our list, because I'm confident that I've covered pretty much everything that needs attention. So yeah, the engine and gearbox seem to operate great. The engine seems really strong. I think it's been remapped. It felt quite quick. But as I said, I'm not 100% sure. So I think I've got a pretty good clear overall picture of the car. So I've written down on the board everything that I think needs doing for it to be a decent car to be sold. So now we need to work out whether it's worth doing or not. So here's my little list. I've got a whole rear axle kit I can get brand new for 365 quid. Front and rear disc and pads, 200. Rear shocks, 75. 2 wings, 150. I've already bought those. Rear boot handle 20, already bought that. Exhaust, if I get tips, because it just needs tips, doesn't need a whole system, 50 quid, or if I go for like a second-hand Miltech or something, you're looking at about 350. 4 new tyres, 300 quid, and a service. So you're looking at roughly between 1,200 and 1,500 quid. I paid £1,200 for the car, so that gives you roughly 2.5 grand it will owe me with all this stuff done. But having a look on Auto Trader, I think the car would be worth at least 4 grand, probably a little bit more because we'd have done all these bits to it too. So probably looking at about 4.5 grand. So there looks to be a couple of grand in the car potentially. Obviously there's probably a few things I've forgotten and a few things that may come along the way, but you're looking at roughly a 2 grand. Now the question is, do I repair it or do I let one of you guys buy it and do it yourselves? I've put a pinned comment below, choose one, yes or no, and whoever wins, that's what will happen. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I'm going to be doing loads more of these types of cars, you know now, I've done the 2 now. I think I did the Golf R, which is an absolute bodge job, and the Audi Q3 as well. And I've also got another car coming next week as well. So my aim going forward is to try and do the main channel car on like a Sunday, and then on a Wednesday do like an intermediate car, something like this. It's not going to be a massive project. Going forward, I want to try and do videos on a Wednesday and a Wednesday and a Sunday, but sometimes it may go outside of that, but I will let you know in advance. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please do follow me on Instagram if you haven't already, at saving_salvage. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on Sunday with the Audi R8. Cheers, guys.